In this video, I'm giving an update on how my Write to Market course is doing, as well as an update on the new urban fantasy series that I'm writing. What's up guys, I'm doing this quick video to keep everyone updated on how things are going with this ambitious project that I'm doing. As a refresher, I'm creating a new pen name exclusive to the urban fantasy genre called ML McKnight. I'm writing the first book in this new series in public, and I'm building a course along the way that explains how to find the intersection of art and commerce. And the kicker is that I have no idea if this project will succeed or not. I finished writing the book, and it's called Shadow Deal, Book 1 in the Good Necromancer series. The Good Necromancer urban fantasy series is about Lester Broussard, an ex-necromancer who lost everything because of necromancy. He lost his wife and son because a demon betrayed him, and so he's trying to atone for his sins by living a quiet, honest life. He used to be the most powerful necromancer in St. Louis, but now he's just a shell of his former self, having not used his powers for 7 years. When an old friend's life is in danger, he has no choice but to resort to necromancy to save her, but this time he's going to use his powers for good. But is there such a thing as a good necromancer? Lester is an African-American hero, a rarity in the urban fantasy genre, and the story takes place in St. Louis, Missouri, in a side of the city that most people have never seen. So, the book is an unorthodox twist on necromancers, necromancy, and the dead, and it's for readers who love all things dead and occult. If you like your urban fantasy straight up but through the lens of a different kind of character, then this series is for you. So the book came along quite nicely. I was able to write it very quickly, and I was never truly stuck, which is a good thing because writing it live in front of several hundred people, no pressure, right? So a couple dozen people have read early drafts of the novel and have given it positive marks, and I cannot thank those of you who have read it enough. The feedback really meant a lot to me, and a number of them said that Lester felt real to them and that they felt like they knew him, which is really exciting for me as a writer to hear, just because, you hope that readers say things like that about your characters. So, quite honestly, Lester might be the best character I've written up until now. Anyway, the book is done and will be reviewed by 3 different editors. So the first editor is done with it, and the second editor is working on it right now. After that, it will go to a final proofreader, and it'll be ready for launch. So I'm looking at a late March, early April release date. It's going to depend on as soon as I have the cover. But once I have everything ready to go, I'll be sure to share it on social media. So be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter if you haven't already, because I have a feeling the cover is going to be killer. It's being designed by James T. Egan of Bookfly, one of the best designers working in urban fantasy right now. So I don't say that lightly. Check out a link to some of his covers below. He's done some amazing stuff, and he'll be done with my cover around the first week in March. As far as the book itself goes, it couldn't have gone smoother. All of my estimates and predictions were spot on. When you've been doing this for 40 plus books, you get the art of publishing down to a science, right? So I'll let everyone on the channel know when the book launches, but in the meantime, you can join the mailing list for ML McKnight to get notification when the book launches. Links in the video description. While I wrote the book in public, many of you have been following along as I've posted chapters and videos every week in the Write to Market course. And man, had there been some really crazy findings as I've been building this course. Nearly 300 people have signed up for the course and are following along every week, and I've kept my promise of delivering new content every Wednesday. So just a few of the things that I've learned throughout this process, just to tease. So I created the Urban Fantasy Book Database, as well as a foolproof way to classify any urban fantasy book so that you can easily find other books similar to yours. As a reader, it's pretty awesome, and as a writer, it's even more awesome because it's a killer marketing tool. So with the Good Necromancer series, I actually used the tool that I built, and I used it myself, and I used the database to try to find books that were similar to mine, and I found a number of books with necromancers in them. And I was actually able to find even more books using Goodreads and Google and all that to find over 100 books with necromancers in them, which as a marketing tool, that's amazing, right? So I also managed to find 3 books that were very similar to my book, which is pretty impressive because I wrote The Good Necromancer into the dark without outlining or planning. So I had no idea what I was going to write with this series. I just knew I wanted to write something that was going to be in the urban fantasy genre, and I found 3 other books that are almost exactly like mine, which is really exciting, and I don't know that I've been able to do that in the past with books that I've written. So I've got a good feeling about that. So, and again, I did that without outlining or planning. I also came up with another method that I'm going to talk about in a future either video or book. I'm not quite sure yet. But it's called reader signals, and it's a very simple way to tell if your book matches the market or not. I also shared my process for hiring an editor. So I had some really good editors apply to work on the book, but I couldn't pick them all. So I talked about my hiring process and the qualities that I look for in an editor. So this video in particular was surprisingly in-depth, and a lot of people found it helpful. And if that wasn't enough, because I'm always working on new stuff, right? I shared the process of working with my cover designer to work on the cover of my reader magnet, Reaper's Way. So I shared the drafts of the cover all the way up to the final version, including the exact emails that I sent my designer and the instructions that I gave them to help get the cover to where it is now. So a lot of people found that insightful. Anyway, a lot has been happening in the course, and I'm really proud of it. With over 30 videos and about 5 to 6 hours, I think, worth of content, I think I'm delivering on my promise of it being the most in-depth course ever created on writing, publishing, and marketing a book. So I'm down to the final stretch, and I should have most of the course wrapped up within the next month or so. So many of you have noticed that I've been posting course videos to YouTube in the past few weeks. So there are a couple reasons for this. First, I underestimated how much time and energy it takes to create an online course. I love the process, but it's really forced me to reposition my priorities for the first quarter or so of the year. As a result, Author Level Up has to play second fiddle until I can get the course over the finish line. So I apologize for that, but I want to make sure that I'm fulfilling the promise that I initially kept in December when I launched this crazy project. So the channel will be getting a refresh shortly after that, so stick with me because it'll be worth it. So for those of you who have been following along, thanks for hanging in there. And for March, you'll see some course videos and a couple of regular videos, but things will be back to normal again around the end of March. My next project will be a fun one that everyone on the channel will find helpful, and it won't be nearly as time intensive, I hope. So in personal news, I'm undergoing some minor surgery this week, so I have to get my wisdom teeth out. So I'm going to be out of commission for about a week or so. Send your positive vibes my way. I'm definitely going to need them, and I'm going to be eating a lot of ice cream. So there shouldn't be any interruption in my weekly schedule for the course or for the podcast or for YouTube. So all my content's locked and loaded. So guys, don't worry about that. I just want to let you know that I'm having this done just in case there's any weird things that go on. So my wife and I are also in the process of buying a new home, which is fun, and I'm smack dab in the middle of law school classes, so there's never a dull moment for me, let me tell you. Anyway, by the time you guys are watching this video, I'll probably be out of surgery and sitting on my couch watching Netflix. So tell me, I want to know from you guys, what movie or TV show should I watch? I don't watch television. Like, I watch it, I don't ever sit down intentionally and watch TV. So this will be one of the 1 or 2 times a year that I actually do it. So curious to see what you guys think and what you recommend. I think I'm probably going to watch Black Panther. I have not seen Black Panther yet, so I'll probably watch that for the first time. Anyway, just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's going on, and I'll see you next week.